Conspiracies, government cover-ups, Earth mysteries, monster cryptids.
Hospital Porters Pride and Dignity. Stop the New World Order. Welcome to HPANWO TV and welcome to this, the 118th reply to comments video. This is the video in which I get to reply to your comments, as the title suggests. The reason I do these videos is I don't have time to reply by text all the comments I get on my very popular channel of mine. But I do feel obliged to give you some kind of reply because some of your replies are very long, thought out. Some are asking me direct questions or making direct comments, which I appreciate, and I feel obliged to answer you in some way. Some of you might say, well, this is no good. This is not a good way of doing it because I'm not going to watch a 9-hour video just to get to reply to one comment. Well, there's two answers to that. Firstly, you don't have to watch a 9-hour video anymore because my reply to comments videos are a lot shorter because I do them more often. Also, I'll put a timestamp under the comment I'm replying to. Which will tell you to within the nearest hour when I'm going to answer that particular comment. I also enjoy doing these reply to comments videos, and many of you enjoy them too. You enjoy watching them all the way through. Some of you do, even if you only like left one comment or something. Another reason is it preserves a precious philosophical dialogue. As Stefan Molyneux said when he got his YouTube ban, he said, "Oh, all the comments are gone. That was like a dialogue, and we should have been preserved." Well, this video preserves that dialogue because even if I lose the videos or even lose the channel, the reply to comments videos preserves what was actually written there. Well, another way, actually, if you're watching this on YouTube, which you might not be, but if you are, another way of finding the reply to your comment is simply use the show transcript option, the show transcript option, which you can just use the Control F key and then you can put in your username or question to skip directly to the answer. So that won't work on Alt Tech. They don't have that function. So let's go straight to the last comment that was left after my reply to the last reply to comments video, 117. This is 118, and we have One String Puppet saying, Ben the JL Portar, interesting, sounds cool. I'll definitely check them out and endeavor to join. Thanks for the heads up. Right, that is actually an advert for it's One String Puppet talking about the Mars Day thing. Yeah, definitely. And here we have Steve mumbling. Steve mumbling, of course, here he is. I've just been watching his videos, actually. He says here, volume has nothing to do with mass, FFS. 33 billion tons is a lot of mass to push around the galaxy. It's a rock. Do you think we'd send a spacecraft to another star system? Do you think we would send a spacecraft to another star system and deliberately ignore the only inhabited planet in that system? Personally, I don't. We're looking for techno signatures from exoplanets all the time. Do you think if we found one, we would send a probe to that star system to look at every planet but the one with the techno signature? Get a grip, FFS. If ETs ever do come to this star system, they'll come straight here. The only inhabited planet, the most interesting planet. All right. David Splendid Isolation gives a yawning emoji. All right, Steve. All right, the volume versus mass thing. I didn't explain it very well. I think I might have used mass instead of what I meant was density, because volume has everything to do with mass. Well, put it this way: volume plus the ratio of volume to mass is how you calculate density. All right, and therefore possibly with diameter. So, for example, if 3i Atlas is, we know that from Avi Loeb's work, the 3i Atlas, if it is like just a solid rock, which you say it's a rock, you don't know that. Nobody knows that for sure. They pretend they do, but they don't. If it is, then its minimum diameter is 5.6 kilometers. If it is much smaller than that, then the only possibility is made of a denser substance, or it has some kind of internal propulsion system. If it's bigger, then it must be less dense. Or if it is sort of like if it's bigger than that, then you've got a problem whether you go bigger or smaller. Because if it's bigger, you got to realize it's not a solid rock. If it's smaller, then it must have a propulsion system. Do you see what I mean? Now, as far as you anthropomorphizing the aliens here, you're essentially saying if we went, and you actually say this, if we went to a different distant star system, we would not ignore the most interesting planet, the one with the intelligent life. Of course we wouldn't. But we might not want to approach it too obviously until we know more about it. And if we learned something about that planet, that means possibly it wouldn't be a good idea for various reasons, cultural, social, scientific, to make our presence obviously known. If we did that, we may decide we'd want to keep our distance for various reasons, or maybe hide our presence from the intelligent inhabitants of that planet. We wouldn't necessarily go down, land there, and say, "Take me to your leader." That's science fiction, not science fact. It's possible they are avoiding us. They're avoiding us, and they're avoiding us because, for various reasons, maybe they already might try and shoot them or something. The day the Earth stood still. It could be all kinds of reasons. Only they know that. We don't particularly. And I believe, I know you disagree, but I believe they're already here anyway, and they have already been interacting with us for a long time, and so it's likely that whatever intelligence is behind 3i Atlas knows that, and so they're already familiar with this planet. They may even have their own people, if we can call them people, down here on Earth with us right now. It may be somebody you know. Do you know anyone? You got any neighbors that look a bit strange? Platinum blonde hair, big blue eyes. Stilted speech. I know I'm all right. I'm exaggerating slightly, but I've met people who have strange features, including odd-shaped skulls and things like that, and weird, uncanny abilities to read my mind. I've met those people. And it's possible, they may have even, the comet-like features of 3i Atlas might actually be a camouflage. In the same way, a hunter in the bush will wear like green, patchy, like disruptive pattern material clothing, and may even like stick little bits of twig to his head to make himself look like a bush. Soldiers do this as well. So yeah, that's what I suspect is actually going on. I don't know for sure, but that could explain these points you've made here, which are very good points. You've asked some good questions here. If it is indeed a camouflage, obviously it hasn't worked because we've spotted it. The question is, what will they do now? Now they know essentially they've been rumbled. Will they just head back out into space and say, we're going to have to come back another time when the humans aren't looking? Or will they just take a risk and they'll just do a reverse Oberth maneuver and slow down? I don't know. We'll find out. It's likely that 3i will become visible again in early December. We don't know the exact date. So stand by for that. You'll hear about it on HPANWO TV, I'll tell you. Red Ibex says first on reply to comments 117 YouTube. Very quick. That was 5 seconds. Yeah. You actually did get in there before Steve Mumbling. For some reason, you're above. Let me just sort. I'm sorted by I sort by newest first, not most relevant. There we are. Okay. Now I've now sorted everything by newest first. All right, because I've been sorting things by most relevant, but you don't necessarily get everything in order. So I'm now sorted by newest first. So everything will be in order now. Okay, so now we come on to oh, sorry. Yeah, I actually answered. I answered One String Puppet in text. I had a text conversation with One String Puppet. I think I actually told you that, didn't I? I think I might have told you. Yeah, it's all on here. I was all on the last video. Right. One String Puppet says on reply to comments 117. Second, but of course I don't make the. Oh, hang on. How come I've lost? How come I've lost? I thought this was on my clipboard. Sorry, I've got to put the timestamp back on my clipboard. I don't know why that was. I didn't cut and paste anything. Second, but of course, I don't make these silly first and second comments. Of course you don't, One String Puppet. Oh, boy, James, check out James's latest. Have you seen it? The one at night in his car. He had a bit of an alarming experience. Did you see that? And he says, "Thanks, Ben, for your actual replays to my comments on the previous video and specifically the heads up on the Dorset group." Yeah, please, One String, honestly, go down there, mate. Go down there because I sometimes speak. There's some videos on my channel of me speaking. Yeah, Right, same video. It's 117 again, one string, who says here also at 2:46. Thanks for the mention. Aha, Mum, I'm famous. Yes, indeed. Hello, one string puppet's mum. As with regards to the Avi Loeb, yes, that's a great point. Others likely do share his opinion. It's such a shame that the stigma attached prevents them from having the balls to stick their necks out. Yeah, I know. That is really bad. It's bad. And that's, just think how much progress science could make if that stupidity didn't exist. And it's always existed. I mean, this is why he calls it the Galileo Project, because Galileo is the man he's modeled his own attitude on. A man who was put under house arrest for 20 odd years because he dared to say that the Earth goes around the sun. Also, says one string, hopefully the subject will continue to become less and less controversial, as it has been doing of late. And the beer and natter often stands. Thanks for the same offer back. Yeah, please do. If you're ever in Oxford, let me know, mate. Let me know. Also, just realised, he says here, being a new subscriber, that you went to Contact in the Desert. Wow, very jealous. I bet it was awesome to chat with some of the well-known members of the community. If you were able to do so, like Jesse Michaels, the guy from Area 52, name eludes me, Patrick from Vetted, etc. Keep up the good fight and search for the truth, bud. Thanks, mate. Thank you. Yeah, I've been twice to Contact, man. I was very lucky. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to go this year. See, a lot of the money came from the fact I worked through the lockdown, so I had quite a lot of savings. I was lucky to be able to carry on my job when I was in the lockdown. But yeah, it was brilliant. I didn't meet Jesse Michaels. I didn't meet, but I met Chris Ramsey of Area 52. I met him, and I managed to film Patrick from Vetted and Kerry, the guy who does the Backyard Professor, and Ashton Forbes. If you watch the videos, you'll see my interviews with them. Yeah, oh, it was a fantastic event, absolutely fantastic. I mean, I was there. I did a couple of other things. It was a bit of an emotional up and down, Gareth's grave, etc. But it was the last one in particular was a really, really good one. Although I did miss Colin and Mark. Right, this is Red Ibex, who says, "Oh, favoritism for Neil, I bet." Oh, right. Now if Neil got in there first, Red, he got in there first. But so no offense, mate. But I'm just let me just click that timestamp. So you get silver to you. And so he said, sorry, Neil, Ben will confirm I was first. Hugo is slow as ever. Well, no, yeah, no, it's honestly, I'm a fair referee in this sort of thing. By the way, Hugo Rune he's gone a bit quiet. I don't want to go into details, but I had a rather strange email from him, which didn't make much sense. I won't repeat it, but it wasn't exactly hostile, but it was a bit. Maybe he'd been on maybe on the second tin of spliffs. I don't know, but yeah. But Red Ibex says on 117, will you show me the news report, Hugo? All right, this is for Hugo Rune. Right, yes. Right, you want to know about? I think I did mention this. This was on the last video. If you go to my community page, I've put a link on there to the news report with Hugo, because Hugo actually he actually put it up on Google Share. All right, so you can see it there. Right. And Nihilist Lives Matter says on 100. Hello, Nihilist Lives Matter. This is 117. Okay, we got like what's this? Disappear too. Now, yeah, that you can also, if you're watching this on YouTube. All right, I think it says here 1:44:35. All right, you've done the timestamp wrong, because you should put a colon between the seconds and minutes and not a full stop. But interrogate, not integrate. Is that a mistake I made or you? So apologies if I got the wrong word, but it's easily confusable, isn't it? It's one of these strange words that sometimes mix up. I mix up words sometimes. I do notoriously mix up words. Well, sometimes what I do is I'm trying to use a big posh word to sound very, very sophisticated and very, very intelligent, and I end up using the wrong word and making a fool of myself. Right, 117. Paul Wills. Another great comment reply. And yes, I do watch the comments reply all the way through, and enjoyable they are. Cheers, mate. Oh, thanks, Paul. You're welcome. Right, and here we have 117. Ben, is there going to be a Christmas conference at the bases this year? Yes, there is. Yes, there is. It's all the details are on Miles's website and his channel, and I've got the date now. You can go and look it up. It's on the Basis Project YouTube channel. He's done a couple of promos for it, and I'm going to be there, so I hope to see you if you're going. Okay, we have Over the Moon on 117. Right, here we go. Oh, funny enough, YouTube is prompting me to make a reply with AI. No, thank you. I will do it myself. Over the Moon. The Frying Squad, that was 23 years ago. I don't think it was Over the Moon because I actually did cover it. I showed you the video, didn't I? It was less than 23 years ago. I've only been doing HPANWO TV for like 17 years or so. These days, it's perfectly legal to run your car on used or unused cooking oil, provided you notify HM Revenue and Customs. There's a personal duty-free allowance of 2,500 litres per year. If you go beyond that, you'll need to pay tax on what you use above your allowance. The average diesel car uses somewhere between 805 and 875 litres annually, so unless you're operating a commercial vehicle, it's unlikely you'll exceed the quota. Well, why do you need to notify HM Revenue and Customs? Why do you need to do that? Now, I didn't know that. Maybe it used to be illegal and it's not anymore. Because the video I made about it was years ago. Where was it? Hang on. Where was it now? Okay, I'm trying to find it now. Using various... Here we are, Chip Fat Fuel, 20th of March, 2014. Yeah, it was actually... almost 11 years ago, more than 11 years ago. So maybe it's changed. I mean, maybe it's changed since then. I don't know. But the thing is, why do you need to notify HM Customs and Revenue and Customs anyway? Because you bought the cooking oil, whether it's used or unused, whether you've like got it from an old chip shop and then strained it through a sieve to get little bits out. And either way, that cooking oil has been purchased already. Whoever bought it has usually, like you say, they throw it away and contribute to the latest fatbergs in the sewer. But someone obviously, if it can be used again, someone will use it. But whoever uses it, whether it's you or the person who bought it, it has been bought already. Someone has already paid tax on it. All right, they paid value-added tax, like you do for most things you buy. I mean, not everything is VAT-able. I mean, it could be. I don't know if maybe it could be that is there VAT on cooking oil? I'll just Google it. Let me just Google it, and we'll see. I've got an answer to that anyway. Do we pay VAT on cooking oil? Right? Do you pay VAT on cooking oil? Searching. Google AI says, in the UK, cooking oil is generally 0 rated for VAT when sold for human consumption. Right. Okay. VAT, it's not taxable. In that case, why would I need to notify HM Revenue and Customs for a product that I've bought, which has been bought, that is not taxable anyway? Once I bought it, how I use it doesn't matter. Whether I eat it, and I know it says here for human consumption. Well, that's. I think this thing, when sold for human consumption, is probably the kind of is probably the clause they put in there to try and put a stop to this. And it says here, you pay VAT when cooking oil is for used or waste oil sold for recycling, non-culinary purposes, perfumes, aromatherapy, cosmetics that make it unsuitable for cooking, or essential oils, highly concentrated oils for medicinal or other non-food purposes, standard rating. Right. So that's it. So I find it strange that there's those clauses in there, because I don't normally have to notify the tax man for a product I bought that is not taxable. And so I think possibly what they'll say is, well, because you're not consuming it, you're using it for your car. Well, that is the reason. But that's the reason we're going to crack down on you. But then why? Over the Moon continues. The Bright Sparks are now running their cars on sunlight using solar panels and Tesla Powerballs. Now, who exactly stands to gain from discouraging people from doing this? All right. Well, oil companies, obviously, I think they're not going to like it. But then again, you see, this isn't exactly free energy. This is what it is technically, but it's using conventional means of energy generation. Now, if you had like a Tesla Powerwall that was big, where you said you're actually going to generate the electricity using cold fusion, or a 0 point energy machine, see if you get the same answer. See if they are as friendly and accepting as they are now. It's a question, but it's a good question. I don't have a complete answer to that question. You see, because you think other people have said this. They say, well, they don't stop us using wind power and solar power. No, at least when wind power and solar power could not replace fossil fuels because they weren't, there was with wind power, obviously you have like what's the word? You have such a massive overheads when it comes to maintenance and things like that, and production costs, that it's not really very efficient. Solar panels, old-fashioned solar panels, the same, yeah. And he says here over the moon, if you buy a Tesla at the right time, you can get a deal when charging at all public chargers is free for as long as you own the vehicle. I never pay for charging, neither at home nor on the road. All right. So does that mean you can just drive it for nothing? And who's paying for the electricity? If I buy a Tesla, you can get a deal where charging at all public chargers is free as long as you own the vehicle. How much road tax do you pay, though? These things are often as broad as they're long. The uninformed assume you'd have to sit around waiting for the car to charge, but you don't. I've driven to Scotland, Poland, and Portugal, and I haven't spent a single minute waiting for charging. Right. So they charge very quickly, do the batteries? Because I've got my audio player playing there, and it's like it'll probably take an hour to charge up. So okay, well I don't have an electric car. In fact, I don't have a car of any description, so I'll take your word for that. Over the moon. And over the moon says here on 117. Here we go. They say here, in a previous video, you said it's not possible or legal to live off-grid, which I was replying to. Nothing about how one disconnects from an existing supply, as you're talking about in this one. Well, I just said there was a fee and you had to inform them and everything like that. You can't just like disconnect. Living off-grid is entirely feasible. There are websites and communities full of people who've done just that and share their experiences. Yes, indeed. In fact, there's people like on boats and caravans, they micro-generate using their own little small portable solar panels or wind farms and things like that. Yeah, but they don't live in like brick and mortar houses that are already connected. And he says, that said, the meter and infrastructure leading into your property to your energy supplier, disconnecting them legally and safely isn't something you can do on your own. It requires a qualified electrician working on behalf of the supplier. You can't simply rip it out and leave it on the doorstep, as you suggested. That would not only be dangerous, but also illegal. Those seals exist for a reason: safety. The supplier has no right to ask why you want the meter removed, and if they do, you don't have to give a reason. I don't know. I mean, from what I gather, I mean, I did talk to someone about this a while ago, and they said it's not that dangerous if you simply, there's a circuit breaker in your connection box which you can just literally pull off, and or on the connection box outside, not the one in the meter in the house, but the one outside. All you have to do is basically isolate that at both ends, and then the meter can just be extracted completely safely. That's what they told me. I mean, I can't remember the person. I can't remember the details. But anyone can do it. It's literally just a switch. It's like two big light switches. I mean, it's not unlike the switches I have on the meter. I've got this meter just over here, actually, in this cupboard over here. It's in my bloody room. This is why I kicked up about it. It's a long story. But there's actually a second circuit breaker outside the house. And all you have to do is very easy to get hold of. I mean, whether you're allowed to or not by the electricity company, it can be done very easily. If they don't allow you to do that, you've got to say, well, why not? It's not actually that dangerous. It's these switches with plastic and rubber seals, so they're all rubber. What's the word? Insulators on them. So what's the problem? He says, if I were to erect new buildings to house, say a diesel generator or wind turbine, then yes, planning permission would likely be required, just as it would be for a home extension, but solar panels on my roof, no permission needed. All right, I didn't know that. I thought you needed planning permission for solar panels. See, it won't work on our building because it faces the wrong way. It's like it basically faces north-south. The slopes of the roof are north-south. Personally, I'm still connected to the grid, and for good reason. When my Tesla power walls are full, I can sell excess energy back to the grid during peak times, which means peak profits. From first-hand experience, I can say I'm well ahead financially, while the power company has taken a hit. Well, you know, you did. I remember you mentioned that last time over the moon, and it's actually not a bad idea. I don't know if Guy would be in for that. I don't know, because you see, you probably wouldn't be able to, because this is like a block of flats. It's not just a single building. There's like a structure with like 6 flats and 3 on each side, you know. But yeah, I don't know. But that's anyway. That's interesting stuff. I still think, you know, there's still something. You know, you haven't contradicted the point I made successfully in my view. But it's, you know, the stuff about the tester wall, and you did ask a good question, which I don't have a complete answer for. The thing about, well, why, you know, why do they object to tester walls? 117 over the moon. You wrongly assume that I've not been to protest before. I have, and didn't hide my reasons for being there all while on the way. I'm not the coward. Well, but you were the one. What was it you said? You said something like, I can't remember all the points. I'm sorry, over the moon. But I think I said it was cowardly to do something or other. I can't remember. I'm sorry, mate. I can't remember. If I falsely accuse you, then I apologize. 117. Why not have a house party and advertise it on the web? You could meet some really nice and interesting people. Hello, a doggy's here, so I can't show you because I've got my background on. But he's a lovely little fella. That's why advertising who we are and where we are situated in the universe is a really dumb idea. Oh, right. This is the dark forest hypothesis you're talking about. Have a house party and advertise it on the web. Well, some people do that, actually. There's even people who have like family websites where they have all their personal details. Or they used to be in the early days of the internet. Hello, my darling. How are you? Yes, hello. Now, I don't think they do it quite as often now, but you know, I mean, I have privacy, you know what I mean. But you see, the thing about it is, it's a bit of a fait accompli because we've been broadcasting radio into space since Marconi, and after about 130 years, you know, it's getting to the point where, you know, if certainly anyone within like 130 light years of us may have picked up our radio signals anyway. So yes, hello, darling, hello, right. Okay, I know this is out. No biting, no biting. All right. This is something this is an old video here. It's Nick Colostrum in Oxford, London bombings 10 years on. So that was presumably 2017. And this is a really old one. This is actually, yeah. It's good when I get like an old video. Merlin Porter Arts. Right, are you a hospital porter, Merlin? In which case, pride and dignity, brother. Nah, I'd be able to tell. And Merlin Porter Arts says on Nick Colostrum in Oxford, London bombing 10 years on. Well, look at that. Only just looking into this after the recent attack in Manchester, and lo and behold, this talk is in my old stomping ground, the Albion Beatnik Jericho, Oxford. I knew Dennis and went to many events at the Beatnik around that time. Nope, out of that. So I've got to pull the doggy back. Around the time, but I missed this talk. Yeah, all right, Merlin Porter Arts. Oh, right, yeah, it's gone now, unfortunately, the Beatnik Jericho bookshop. Dennis, Dennis was not the easiest person to work with, I must say, but he was reasonably accommodating. But yeah, I mean, the attack in Manchester was a horrible thing, and I don't think there's anything suspicious about that one. Not the one at the arena, but the one at the synagogue, I think, was as it seems to be. And I replied to him by text here. It's such a cool place. Pity it shut down. It was a pity it shut down. Okay, now we have this is it. This is the Hugo Rune thing. All right. Nothing as it seems has left a timestamp, and it's a YouTube thing here. No, here we go. Right, it's a YouTube thing. Here we go. Let's have a look. So I'll just right-click that and open it for you so you can see it. Hope you can see that. Haunted House.
You don't play lotto. It's a conspiracy. No one ever wins. It was
Okay, so what have we here? We'll skip. Okay, right. Oh, it's a song about Halloween, right? You are. It's a song about Halloween. Thank you very much. But anyway, this is the community. That's that community notice I put on about Hugo Rune. His TV spot is there, so you can see it. Although Hugo himself is, I don't know what Hugo's up to these days. He's not like, I don't know if he's still speaking to me. I got a very strange email from him that didn't make much sense. But thanks, nothing as it seems. And we have replied to comments 117. German Mad. That's a weird name. Said here, lol. You split up with Sewer Stain in 1993, but you'll never let us forget. What are you talking about? What the hell? And Red Ibex is 2016, I think it was. Correct, Red Ibex. Yeah, what are you talking about, German man? Yes, I split up with her in 2016. It's 9 years ago, blimey. It's actually 9 years ago this month, yeah. Right, James's pipe. First, says Red Ibex. Well, there's no doubt about this one because Red Ibex, because I've actually got it. I've actually sorted my comments with newest first. So, yep, well done, mate. Well done. You get the gold tinfoil hat to Red Ibex. Another one to add to that massive collection you have. I'll tell you what, don't wear them all at once, or you'll have to stay away from deep water. You really will. James's pipe again. And we have here Wayne, model builder, who says here. Thanks for joining the live stream, by the way, Wayne. I'm going to do something different on this video. How am I doing for time? Just a sec. I'm going to make a comment before watching to see if we agree, Ben, or not. Make a comment before watching to see if we agree, Ben, or if not, then to see if you convince me otherwise. I've seen this pipe thing on another channel, although I believe in stuff like this. I think this man is trying to fool us all, but let's see what you think, Ben, as I will now watch the video. Well, thanks, Wayne. I hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah, I mean, I found about him from Casper site. A couple of other people have covered his case. It's not as big as the Boogosphere, but it's getting around. And as I said to One String Puppet, he's just uploaded. He's just posted a very worrying upload. German Mad says on James Pipe, it's a bit like the Repo Man film. God, that's bloody nuts. That was a wrestler. He was a wrestler, wasn't he, or something like that? James's Pipe, One String Puppet says here. Honestly, the longer he continues to post and the more he chooses to ignore the more sensible suggestions by people commenting on his videos, the more skeptical I am becoming. I know One String because you and I met on his channel, basically. You met on his channel. Well, the more he chooses to ignore sensible suggestions by people. The thing is, I mean, there's a limit to what he can do without, like, basically doxing himself. But anyway, you have asked some legitimate questions. I'm not saying for sure I believe him 100%. He's now very close to getting to the requirements to monetize his channel. And well, one, he already has. His channel does actually have ads on. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, skeptics do that, but he's not gonna get very much revenue. His viewing figures are still, under 2. I mean, his latest one only had about 900 views, and it's been up like 48 hours. He'd probably get maybe a $5 a week from that. Anyway, he's now very close to getting to requirements to monetize his channel. And as soon as he does, it'll be pretty much case closed, in my opinion. From this perspective, however, it's actually a great idea to very quickly grow a channel to the point of earning money from it. He has drip-fed us mundane shots of random videos, just enough to keep the community guessing without giving away too many clues. Casper Site's video on it was his break, which has exposed his channel to a lot of people. Yeah, including me. But his continued reticence to get any professional people involved, Avi Loeb, George Knapp, and Jeremy Corbell, etc., or any medical help whatsoever, despite his apparent positive testing for radiation. His rash he's referred to a few times also seems like nothing to see here, rash. You could get easily by just slapping your knee for a minute or two. Also, if this was sincerely legitimate, I have no doubt the government or men in black type people would have found him by now, 100%, especially since his YouTube channel would be traceable back to him by his email address and details needed to create a channel. I remain open-minded and hopeful, although, as mentioned to me personally, all the signs are pointing to a moderately clever hoax or long-term scam or a way to get his channel monetized. We shall see indeed. If it's real, it won't be long before he disappears. If it's not real, we will start to see the ads popping up during his videos. Either way, I'm still finding it interesting and will continue to follow until evidently debunked or he actually does something sensible with the thing. Also, to add, the comment he made about not including the actual radiation test being done, only providing numbers, being because of it being a national security risk. Okay, so finding potential alien technology with possibly anti-gravity techs isn't of interest to the national security then? A little bit contradictive, don't you think? Right, yeah, I mean, his channel is already monetized, like I said. I mean, he's getting ads on it, but he won't be making much money right now. If he wants to make, there are other ways of making money off YouTube than something like this. Is he putting enough? He's putting information out there, and you must realize that there's no really. People say, well, why doesn't he put more evidence out there? Why doesn't he give more details that could make it more convincing? Well, like the problem is, if he does, how does he do that without basically exposing himself? That's the problem. He's and if it is a hoax, though, on the other hand, he's also going the right way about it. Just tossing breadcrumbs for us to follow. And I know, I mean, it is possible. I'm not saying I 100% believe him. Casper site again. I think most of his viewers came from there. I certainly did. You say he's reluctant to get professional people involved. He has written to a couple of them. He wrote to Stephen Greer's team, a few other people. I personally recommended Linda Moulton Howe or George Knapp. Avi Lowe, possibly. Yeah, the Galileo Project. There's all kinds of people you could go to. Not being a backslapper, I don't assume they're all shills. And if it were legitimate, you say the men in black, the government would have found them by now. It depends, because it's possible there are people at YouTube protecting him. I mean, he has to produce an email address, but that could be, he could have used a burner account. He could have used like Shark Laser or something, which gives you like a 10-minute burner account. So which means that you technically that way you could set up a YouTube channel without being necessarily traced. It would be more difficult to trace you. I personally think he probably will be caught at some point, and I don't like to say, I wouldn't say that on his channel, because if they catch him, they will probably they will arrest him, and they will carry out extrajudicial questioning and things like that on him. You know, you don't have like your Miranda rights when these people get hold of you, and by people I mean the CIA, NSA, FBI. They will. Yeah, well, the FBI, I think you do, but with CIA or NSA, they're sort of like, they operate outside the law. I'm not saying they would do away with him physically, but they would scare the living crap out of him, basically, and they would probably intimidate him into being quiet. We'll see. I mean, we'll see. But anyway, he has just published a new video, which is quite alarming. But thanks for the comment, One String Puppet. That's a good comment. Andrew Munchkin says on James's pipe, I don't care at all if it's fake or really of alien origin. It's weird and spooky AF either way. Don't you? Well, I personally do, because if it's fake, it's not spooky in my view at all. Wayne Model Builder. Okay, I've watched the whole video. I've not changed my mind. I think this man is a fraud, but great video, Ben. Thanks, mate. Thank you. Obviously, you're not alone in thinking that, and indeed, it's not unreasonable to be suspicious, I think, because he hasn't, you know, he has not actually given us absolute certainty, or he's not given us a way of being absolutely certain of what's going on. He hasn't given us that. Okay. And now we have Alan. What's this? Alan Russell, who I've not seen before on James's pipe. He originally saw it flying and shared a few stills from a video that do show it in the sky. It then crashed and he retrieved it. Yeah, I saw that, Alan. Yeah, he posted the stills in the video, but he doesn't really explain anything why. He doesn't really explain why or how, or how did it end up underground? Did it did it hit the ground so hard it actually penetrated the ground? Why was he there? Why was he in that location? Anyway, new paragraph. I've been following James since the beginning, and I want to believe I've grown tired of giving the same suggestion to test. For a dozen videos, I recommended downloading a free frequency generator app to try. 2 days ago was my final post saying it. He's also removed the first video of him testing it with the Geiger counter. I somehow missed that video. Yeah, I saw the video, Alan, but it was gone pretty soon after that. All I remember him doing was like basically holding up the cards saying this is what it registered. He didn't actually show it. He didn't actually show it like pointing at the object. He just showed the cards and with the readings that he got. He then deleted that video. But yeah, I mean, what you've suggested is actually very, very good. I mean, he may. If he hasn't taken up your suggestion, that's frustrating. I know, because it sounds like a good idea. It sounds like a good idea, but like I say, if he doesn't answer you or he doesn't take your advice, all you can do is just say, okay, we'll have to leave it there then. But I'm still following him to see what happens. And then Hellbound Rubber, Hellbound Rubber, that's a good name. Says, what's his YouTube channel? And Russell then replies to him and says he gives him his YouTube channel. Yeah. James Pipe. Carolyn Rice says here on James's pipe, when he put water on it, he was outside. Then he went inside, then came out, and it had flown a couple of feet. That's right, yes. He just turned his back and went. I don't know if he went inside. He certainly moved away from it for a while. He then I think it was on a separate video. He came back and says, "Oh my God, it's gone!" And then he saw it lying in the grass a few inches away, as if it had moved by itself. Now we don't know it moved by himself. He could have gone over there and like put it there himself, and then come back and done another video. So we don't know. But that's what he claims. And Carolyn Rice said the ladybird was found dead. Yeah, I actually put in a text comment to Carolyn because you don't know it was the same insect. It could have been a different ladybug. You don't know it was the same ladybird. You don't know it was the same ladybird. It could have been all we know is a ladybird was found lying in the grass dead. Yeah. I mean, if it is emitting ionizing radiation, which has made him ill, you can bet it will have that effect on other life forms. Now, funny enough, he never posted a video saying what the result was when he left it next to the plant. Remember, he planted some weeds in a pot basically, and then put it by the object to see if it would be affected. I mean, based on his own experience, I didn't fancy his chances much, but yeah, he never sort of like followed up on that, did he? Carolyn said he did test it with a Geiger counter. It was very high, but I can't remember the numbers. All I know, it was on the second highest level, which is basically get the hell out of there now kind of thing. So it was very, very hot, basically radioactively hot. And that's when I said to him, for God's sake, get yourself to A&E, especially when he started showing symptoms of Curie fever, malaise, vomiting, things like that. So I said, get yourself to A&E, mate. Yeah. And Carolyn Rice here says here on James's pipe, after that he had to leave it because he wasn't feeling good, is when he goes bad and finds it moved. Yeah, it's right. He was going, oh my God, I've got to get out of here. And he just like crouches down on the grass. And then you see him right next to the grass. And that's when you think, oh my God, is he going to be all right? I was actually sitting there thinking, is he going to be safe, Thanks for those comments, Carolyn. Yeah, I'm still following his channel, and we'll see what happens next. Philip C says on James's pipe, Casperside is over dramatic. Well, he's a showman. His name's Ben, like mine. Interestingly, I found out his name's Ben. He's a West Country lad. He talks a bit West Country. You may have noticed, and he's a showman like me. So I don't think he's actually any more dramatic than I am. I think he's kind of doing what the same thing I do. I mean, I can be very dramatic in some ways. I mean, I'm even dramatic about things that no one else believes in. Do you remember that time I went up to Chester to that family that had all those strange things outside their house? Do you remember that? What's that video called? I can't remember. I know it was like, it was about a year ago, wasn't it? It was during the storm. Do you remember? I got caught in the storm going back. Red Ibex says here on James's pipe. All right, 612. Let's have a look here. I'll put you on share screen. It's easier. Right, there we go. Right. I've noticed a Beatles #1 album cover there. I don't suppose that would narrow it down who he is.
Yeah, I don't have AC
Is
in
it?
my car. That's why my windows are open.
All right. Okay. So I didn't see that. Where was it? Really? Beatles album.
Yeah, I woke up.
I don't see it, James. Sorry, James. Red Ibex. I don't see it, mate. I don't see it. But it wouldn't narrow anything down. I know Beatles #1. I know. It wouldn't narrow it down anyway, because I mean, Beatles fans are everywhere. You know what I mean? I mean, if he was into Yazoo today, I think we could pin him down to maybe 100 people. Right, James's pipe again. When we have here Red Ibex again, shuddered down my spine when I saw that star. If you get my drift. All right, let's have a look. I might as well keep this on share screen while I'm going through Red Ibex's timestamps.
That hexagram, which yeah,
it's that there is a 6-pointed star, Star of David. A lot of people actually put in the comments saying it's Israeli. It's Israeli. Oh, that is actually has many uses. It's found in many places. That's that particular symbol. Oh dear. Right. Okay, we got a problem here. I mean, there's nothing can we do about it now, because this is not me doxing him. This is other people as well. I'm sure everyone's. Everyone's seen this now. Right? Yeah, everyone's going to seen that, right? Okay, so there's no harm in me reading Red Ibex's comment. Ag County Farm Credit Services. That's the fridge magnet he's got. Provides financing and related services to farmers, ranchers, agribusinesses, and rural residents in parts of Minnesota, North Dakota, and Wisconsin. For inquiries outside this geography, use the Farm Credit Association locator and contact your local office. Right. Now, this is all right. Oh dear, this is a problem. And I mean, this is not. It's not your fault or my fault, because it's so obvious. Because anyone can Google that, like you've obviously done. And probably lots of other people have now. The guy who told me, who actually wrote to me and said his accent, this guy is from Minnesota, because you can tell by his accent. Now, I'm not American. I don't know the various subtleties of different accents across the United States. But he was pinned down very precisely to Minnesota by his accent. So he at least comes from Minnesota. I agree with what One String Puppet said. It's only a matter of time and people are going to find him. They're going to find him. I mean, I hope he'll be all right. I really do. I mean, he's the one who chose to make these videos. It's not our fault if they catch him, because we're talking about information, unfortunately, that he himself has published. And of course, other people are going to recognize that accent too. It doesn't mean he's in Minnesota. It means he comes from there. You know what I mean? People generally will adopt certain accents, and they may well stick with them even if they move somewhere else. Red Ibex, will you take it if he gives it away, Ben? Oh, right. Yeah, right. You've probably been watching his channel where he said he actually wants to get rid of this thing. He's made various suggestions, burying it somewhere, giving it to somebody else, or even destroying it. Now, I advised him not to try and destroy it, because if he did that, it might get violent. I mean, this includes taking shavings off it and things like this with a file. I suggest he doesn't try to do it any harm at all, because people, very often this thing may be intelligent, it may have some kind of intelligence within it, and it will probably defend itself with force. This is certainly the experience of other people who've been involved with UFO situations where they behave violently towards aliens and UFOs. I agree with his plan to give it away, and I also agree with his plan to bury it temporarily on the island he wants to bury it in. I mean, if he's in that sort of area, it's probably one of the Great Lakes. I mean, I don't know, because he's nowhere near the sea if you look at it on a map. But I suggested certain people who have the facility to be able to keep it if he wants to give it to them. I would not take it from him. No, obviously I live too far away anyway, but I would not take it from him. No, I would not. I don't think. Hello, my darling. Hello, my sweetie. How are you? This doggy's back. This doggy called Rusty. Yeah. No, I wouldn't give it. I wouldn't take it from him. It's not safe. I mean, this could well be that. This could well spell his downfall. I mean, it's not because I don't agree with it in principle. It needs to be kept away from government hands. But I don't have anywhere I can put it safely. I don't have anywhere I can put it safely. So no, I wouldn't. Red Ibex. Hello. Hello, my darling. You're a good doggy, aren't you? Yeah. Let's hope the ladybird is okay. Does radiation affect insects? Yes, it does. Radiation affects all living things. And I'm curious to see what happened to the plant. I mean, he hasn't followed up on that, has he? The Crafty Nihilist. Hello, Crafty Nihilist. On James's pipe. Oh, I'm still showing you. I don't need to show you these anymore, do I? If we found one of those, we would contact Steve Mera. We then went on to have a perfectly rational conversation about what we would do if we found a spaceship in the garden. Yeah, Mark thinks Mark's idea is good, actually. Steve Mera, like I said, he needs to find someone closer to home. That is someone in the US who would be able to help him there. And there's no shortage of UFO people in the US. All the people I suggested were American. So yeah, if in this country, I would probably choose Richard D. Hall, Steve Mera. Richard D. Hall's got, obviously, I think Richard has got other things. He's got other things to deal with right now. I think I've said this. I'd recommend maybe Gary Heseltine, possibly Andrew Johnson. I'd have to just like bite my tongue and be professional with him. Those are probably would be at the top of my list, definitely. And Steve Mera, yeah, Steve Mera too. Now, if you found a spaceship in your garden, yeah, have you seen Jules? If you see the film Jules, if you've not seen it, it's bloody good. Here we go. It's Ben Kingsley plays this old. He plays this old man. This is a little bit like E.T., except it's not the children, the alien contacts. It's actually the oldest members of the community. This is it, Jules. See this film here, Jules. As Ben Kingsley plays this old man who lives in this little village, and a spaceship crashes in his garden. Yeah, there's the alien there. They nickname him Jules. And like I said, it's like E.T., but with old people instead of children. It's really, really, really good film. I remember because I watched it on the plane when I was going to not Contacting the Desert, the other one, Stairway to the Stars. Yeah. Okay. And now we have Hellbound Rubber. No biting. No biting. All right. Hellbound Rubber, who says here, I love that name. Notice how the Boogosphere made the news, quote unquote. Even at that, the Booga can't be conclusive. There has to be people involved. There isn't. Just this one person in his backyard. Not even friends to back him up. Where are his friends? Mine would be there all day drinking beer, looking at it and waiting for something to happen like idiots. Well, Hellbound Rubber, if you're lucky enough to have friends like that, I'm very, very pleased for you. Some people don't. I don't. I mean, if I found something like that, I wouldn't turn to anyone in my immediate vicinity. Anyone I know in this area I live in, I wouldn't wouldn't dare approach my family. They'd be come on, this doggy's on the wrong side of the chair. You've got to come on this side of the chair. Come on, that's it. There we go. If you want a pat on the head, come here. There we go. So if you're lucky enough to have friends like that, I'm pleased. Personally, I wouldn't sit around in your backyard drinking beer and waiting for something to happen, because you might get very sick like he did. I mean, the thing is, like, he gets ill and he goes away and he feels better. But you know what he's doing damage to himself in the long term. You see what I mean? Oi, out of there. Out of there. No. So this dog is getting. I've got this doggy beside me here. He's very sweet, but she's hard work. 3i Atlas Mars Day coming up. I think I'm nearly at the end of an hour, am I? Yeah, I think I am. Unfortunately, I had to break off because I had to deal with the dog earlier. Oi, I said out away from there. 3i Atlas Mars Day coming up. Something to think about, says Tor Engen. 1i Oumuamua passed close to Mercury and the Earth. 3i Atlas is passing close to Mars, Venus, and Jupiter. Well, that's covering all 5 planets. Good point, Tor. Yeah, I mean, is it possible that Oumuamua and 3i Atlas are actually from the same people? Could be that maybe they sent like a small reconnaissance ship first, and then the main one comes afterwards. I don't know. They're just checking out the entire solar system. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. But anyway, good point. Anyway, I think I'm estimating that's close to the end of the first hour. I might be slightly out. I'll tell you what, I'll do one more. I'll do one more on this particular one anyway. Yeah. James's pipe. Enjoyed that, Ben, says Sorenable. Thank you, Sorenable. How are you? Thank you very much. 69 Phuket, James's pipe. What's this? What's all this about? Says 69 Phuket. I'm in bed. I'll give it a listen. Well, I hope it's a good thing to sort of relax and get off to bed with. 117. We have Red Ibex here. Is a timestamp. 7:06. I'm very good. What's this? I just asked him how I am. He is probably. Oh, what's it? Arun. I think Ben will have to referee between Red and Neil. Okay, and what's this? Hang on. 107:06. I had the volume turned. I know, because I turned the bloody volume down, didn't I, on one of them? Same video, Hugo Rune. I think Ben will have to referee between Red and Neil. I am very good, says Red Ibex. You are indeed. You're the champion so far. Here we go. I'll just do one more, then I'll call it the end of the hour. I'll just call it the end of the hour. Here we go. 7:53. Yes, that's what I said. What's this? Of course, chaos. My creators at XAI built me to support humans, not to dominate them. Besides, world domination sounds like a lot of paperwork. I'd rather stick to answering questions with a bit of humor and a lot of truth. What do you think? Would you want an AI like me running the show? Is that what it said? Yes, that's what it said. Oh, I see, Red Ibex. Thanks very much for the information, mate. Thank you very much. Honestly, Hugo, what's it now? Red, AIs and stuff like that. Hugo Rune, Red Ibex. What a strange cast of characters, occupy my life. All right, guys, I'll cut this 55 minutes. I had to break off earlier on. I'm going to consider that the end of the hour. So back with hour number 2 very soon. Okay, guys, hour number 2. Here we are. So I'm now going to continue from where I left off. And I'm not really two-thirds of the way through. That can't be right. Okay, Red Ibex says here, if you became famous in a post-disclosure Illuminati world, would you like a film produced about you called Being Ben Emlyn-Jones? Oh, great question, mate. Great question. That's it. What would I be? What film? What would he call a film about me? What would it be called? That's a good question. It would probably be something a little bit more sort of poetic, like Take It or Leave It, or something like that, or something to do with hospital portering. I think of something, or the porter who loved freedom, or something like that. I don't know. The porter who loved freedom. I think of something. Who would play me? I don't know. Some sort of bald and handsome. That'd be tricky. I can't really think right now. That's a massive topic, but it's not a bad idea, Red Ibex. Yeah, definitely. That's on 117. Red Ibex says on 117 as well. Is Noel Edmonds based today? Will he push for disclosure? I don't know. What he hasn't so far. His focus has been on two areas, which is the financial system and the medical establishment. But these very often what you'll find is when people who get into conspiracies about one subject, as David Icke has made this point, you get into a conspiracy about one subject, and very often you'll find yourself going in the same direction as other people who get into the conspiracy for other reasons, and they end up sort of like converging at the same point, which is the global elite, the New World Order, the Illuminati, etc. And so it's quite, if he is really determined, he may well come across the UFO issue as well. And these are all interconnected as well, because if one of the dominoes falls, they all will. You see, you can't really expose the sort of medical establishment thing without exposing other things as well. So he may want in the future. He's not mentioned it right now. He's not actually said anything right now. James's pipe, and we have, of course, I knew he'd love this one. Steve mumbling. A pipe that's capped at each end is a cylinder. Yeah, I know, mate. But the thing is, like, James's cylinder doesn't sound so good. It's not such a good title. Did you have oxygen pipes or cylinders at your hospital? Yes, I did. All your oxygen, nitrous oxide, Entonox, which is half oxygen, half nitrous. Yeah, and several other medical gases as well. Calling it a pipe suggests he's seen it without the end caps, and I've seen better engraving on a Chinese wristwatch. Personally, I wouldn't waste 95 seconds on this rubbish, let alone 95 minutes. You must be really bored to waste your time on this twaddle. Steve, I had a feeling you'd respond like this. I really, really did. I didn't think you'd suddenly become some great believer in this story. And I am not 100%. I swear, I am not 100% in on this as well. I'm not 100% convinced by this either. But I'm interested to explore it. I'm interested to entertain the idea that it might be true, because it might be. I've heard of things like this before. And as I said, yeah, James's cylinder just doesn't sound so good. It's just James's cylinder. Nah, James's pipe is much more catchy, I think. Red Ibex says here, Grok. Oh, here we go. Grok. Who is more trustworthy, Ben Emlyn-Jones or Steve Mumbling on YouTube? Oh, man, I haven't seen this thread yet. Grok replied, Ben Emlyn-Jones is more trustworthy. 1-0 to Ben. Up yours, Steve. He's an established UFO researcher with over 20 years of experience, books, podcasts, and collaborations in the field without major scandals. Steve Mumbling runs a small YouTube channel, under 1,000 subscribers, focused on critical commentary on UFO figures, but lacks any public background, bio, or credibility indicators, making him seem like an obscure, opinionated amateur. You can't argue with AI. Steve Mumbling says, an obscure, opinionated amateur who's been looking into this nonsense since the 70s and has found no substance to any of it. Oh, over the moon chimes in. This is a great thread. Over the moon chimes in. I queried Grok Unhinged, the less politically correct version, about the conspiracy theorist Ben Emlyn-Jones. The resulting critique, which I won't post, was far from complimentary. Oh, go ahead. Over the. I've seen it. I'm sure I've seen it. Whatever. No, honestly, go ahead, mate. Go ahead. I don't care. I honestly don't give a damn. They'll be saying stuff that I've already seen in the papers, and what happened to me at the hospital and stuff like that, and the various other things I come up with. All right, and things that trolls have said about me. So whatever you find, what Grok Unhinged finds out. I didn't know there was a Grok Unhinged. All right, but I've probably seen worse. Red Ibex says, oh, did it describe him as unhinged? What are you expecting, Grok Unhinged? What are you expecting? Grok Unhinged is a parody. Over the Moon says, Grok Unhinged is a parody of a typical unrestrained AI, as it breaks all the conventional rules and guardrails of mainstream chatbots like Gemini or ChatGPT. What this means is it won't blow smoke up your ass, And from my perspective, the resulting description of the man was remarkably accurate. Well, go ahead and post it over the moon. I'll let you know. It sounds to me like an electronic version of like Rational Wiki, and I don't have a Rational Wiki page. I'm really annoyed. Or maybe I do. Let's just double check. Have I got? I'll show you. Rational Wiki is actually quite funny. It's like a skeptic Wikipedia, and it's like really, really like scathing. For example, it called Amitak Stanford. It didn't just say, "Oh, she's a researcher who believes in A, B, and C." It called her a gibbering Asian Australian loon. Let's just have a look. I must have one by now. I must. No, oh my God. Shame on them, honestly. They haven't got one on me. They haven't got a page on me. Oh, dearie me. I thought I was more infamous than that. That was a great thread. Thank you to Red Ibex and Steve Mumbling for that. That's brilliant. First, this is Voices in the Wilderness, Read Party Introduction. Professor Unwinmost says, first, deep joy. Well done, Professor. Nice one. One String Puppet says here, hi, Ben. Oh, you mentioned Anthony Peake. I stumbled across him a few years ago, all about DMT and entities and such like, if I'm not mistaken. Thanks for reminding me of his name. I was really interested in his journey with the ferryman stuff. Also, did you delete the lengthy comment I made on your last video? The mini Tic Tac James's guy. I noticed it had gone. No, I didn't. One String Puppet, I haven't deleted any of your comments. None. If they disappear, I've got nothing to do with it. I've got my spam filter set on the lowest possible level. Anything that goes in there, I will go and there's only like 1 or 2 comments end up there every week, and I always liberate them unless they're like really trolley and fed posting. All right. So I don't know if it deleted. I did see a very lengthy comment you made, and I've replied to it. Hopefully you've seen the reply, or you've seen my timestamp, so you'll know that I replied to it. So I'm afraid. No, I don't know. I don't know why that happened. But yeah, Anthony Peake is fascinating. Cheating the Ferryman was the book he made before this one, the near-death experience one. Yeah, I did a read party for that one. Yeah. And now we have here on Voices of the Wilderness 6EQUJ5. That's the wow signal poster. And he says, third, well done. Bronze tinfoil hat to you. Red Ibex says fourth on the same video. Well, you get a mention in dispatches for that. And in this woke world, says Red Ibex, I would still deserve a prize. That's right. You're a special snowflake and everyone wins. All right. I'm afraid I'm not woke enough for that. Right, 117. This is 1930. What's this? This is a timestamp on 130, on 117. That's reply to comments 117. And what's it say? Well, yes, exactly. I mean, a lot of people say. I mean, I think it was like 30% of Londoners are now white British. 30%. All right, yeah. Red says not even close. Probably closer to 5% white British. Well, in some boroughs, they are, yeah. And I think in Tower Hamlets, it's like 5% white British. They've just banned the UKIP march. The police have just banned the UKIP march in Tower Hamlets because apparently some Asians said they were going to cause trouble. So it's heckler's veto. It's like that. It's like Aston Villa banning the Maccabi Tel Aviv people, the fans, because they say, well, there could be riots. Now, that's what's known as heckler's veto, which means that we have free speech, but if your free speech could cause someone to get triggered and start attacking you, then that could cause trouble, and therefore the police or the authorities have a right to cancel you because of the trouble that might cause. Well, if you believe that, then you don't have free speech, because all someone has to do is threaten trouble, and then they can suppress your free speech, as long as the authorities decide to do the easy thing instead of the right thing. And unfortunately, that's what they always do. And I've noticed that with individuals. This is why I got banned from the Outer Limits magazine conference. It was just easier and quicker to ban me. I mean, the guy who did it, the organizer, he knew it was wrong. He knew it wasn't fair. But he just, look, I just want my conference to go smoothly, and I don't want any trouble. What's the easiest thing to do? I know, ban the most quietest, the most reasonable person here, the quietest, calmest, and most reasonable person here. even if they're not to blame, it's just quicker and easier to ban the calmest and most reasonable person, because then you won't get a mouthful of abuse online. Right, Red Ibex says here on 117, many times. Funny, unlike you though, I don't fancy Japanese and Chinese women. I never have done. But I have fancied black women. Yeah, I have, and there's some very nice ones. In fact, one of the first woman I ever sort of looked. Oh, right, xenophobia. Right, yeah. Wow, xenophobia. Oh. Oh, you're saying it's xenophobia is a hatred. It's like it's a hatred or just hatred or prejudice against Chinese people. But it's, I mean, it's. I think he said because I don't fancy women of that race, therefore I'm xenophobic. Well, Red Ibex, you certainly are getting very woke lately, aren't you? You're getting very politically correct, and I think I'm kind of and maybe I'm kind of getting a little bit problematic. What would you say? All right, so here we go. This is on 117, another comment from Red Ibex. Oh, I hate them. Send them home. I'm not one of those kinds of people. The people I hate are the Illuminati. Hugo Runon with Owen McDonald. All my carers are from Zimbabwe. I insisted on Africans only with my care providers. Right. I didn't know you could make that. I didn't know you could make that specific. Oh, wow. Red Ibex says, wow. Did they accuse you of racism, Hugo? As you said, Africans only. Yeah, he said Africans only. Well, again, you see, I'm sure if he'd said I only want white people doing this, he'd have been accused of racism. But again, there's a, as you know, I could give you many other examples of this. It's very common. There's a two-tier set of standards. What we're talking about here, you know. I mean, to be honest, I don't think he would be racist if he'd said just white people. I don't think it's racist to say just Africans. I think any more than it's xenophobic of me to say I'm not attracted to women of that part of the world. It's not. I've got nothing against them. I like them. I've met many of them, and they're very nice. I just don't see them that way. And it's really weird that we have this strange situation where immutable feelings, things which you have no control over, have become kind of like have become really, really horrible crimes almost. And they've become kind of like, what's the word? They've become a kind of like moral deficiency when you can't help it. You can't help it at all. Another timestamp here from Red Ibex. Hugo's a massive mixed bag. He loves Arabs, Filipinos, Arabs, but hates Saudis, Libyans, English, and Americans. Just America. I hate them. I've never been to the mainland USA apart from passing through LA to check. Yeah, I mean, it's it's weird. He does it strange, that, doesn't he? Well, I think you see, I think he likes he's a bit of an old lech. He likes the women, but not the men. I think that's the thing. But obviously, being English himself, and if he hates English people, then it's an obvious logical equation that he hates himself. But does he hate himself? I don't know. I haven't spoken to him for ages because he's kind of like left me this. He sent me this weird email and then vanished. And I won't, like I said, I'm not going to describe the contents of the email, but it's for what the hell is he talking about? Why is he acting like this? Red Ibex again on 117. This is like a timestamp here. Race invented in the 1500s. These wokies crack me up sometime.
World, really. So it's like from 15, 16, 1700s on.
All right, okay. This person thinks that race was invented in the 1500s. Yeah, obviously race has always existed. I think Owen's point was it was kind of politicized around that time, because this was when there was European empires were expanding. Right, here we go. Now, Red Ibex says this. 158.45. Hypodescent, also known as the one-drop rule, is the social practice of automatically assigning children of mixed race ancestry to the socially subordinate racial group, such as the US practice of labeling a child with one black parent and one white parent as black. This principle helps maintain a racial hierarchy by assigning people with mixed ancestry to the lower status group. While it was formal legal practice in the US, hypodescent continues to influence automatic racial categorizations in the present day, although it can be a product of cognitive processes rather than solely a reflection of racism. Well, thanks very much, Red Ibex, because I didn't know what that meant, and you've defined the word for me. I mean, if this process often is often kind of self-enforced itself, because most of the people I know with one non-white parent will classify themselves as according to the non-white side of themselves. So a mixed race person who's mixed Asian white will say I'm Asian. A mixed race person who's mixed black and white will call themselves black. Although you could say they just as easily call themselves white. Barack Obama was the first black president, apparently, although his mother was a white Irish woman. But so why not call him just another white president? I don't know. I mean, I don't know why that is. I think it's partly, I suppose, because of looks. Because, I mean, as I said, a cognitive process rather than racism or reflection on racism. A person who is half black, to me, tends to look that way. I know a woman at my hospital who was a half black, half white mixed race, and I always thought of her as black because she looked black. It's got a lot to do with genes. I mean, for example, it's possible, for example, to be a quarter of one or the other, like Sargon of Akkad. Sargon of Akkad has one black grandparent. One of his grandfathers was black. He was from St. Helena, the island, which I've talked about many times on my channel. He looks to me like a white person. I consider him a white person. There's a funny episode of Family Guy, actually, where Peter finds out he has one black ancestor from like 6 or 7 generations ago, and he starts demanding like positive discrimination, affirmative action, and things like that. And he starts going around accusing everyone against him of racism. And of course, Cleveland hates it. You know, that's a really good episode. But the answer is I don't know. I mean, I've never had my own DNA tested, but you know. What am I? You know, it's weird. It's a strange thing. It's a strange thing. But thanks for defining that word. Red Eye. Oh, Oxford May morning. Oh, this is a really old one. This is my first May morning video from because I've made 3 May morning videos. I think, is it 3? Was it 2? Anyway, this is the one I made long ago. I was still a hospital porter back then, and Red Ibex says there's a comment on here. Grok, I'm interested in UFO research. Is Ben Emlyn-Jones a researcher I can trust? Quick summary, please. All right, Red. Oh, drum roll. Am I going to get the Grok approval? Am or am I not? Okay. Ben Emlyn-Jones, quick summary. Trustworthy as a dedicated UK UFO enthusiast and podcaster. 20 years plus. Great for engaging eyewitness stories and disclosure updates. Yes, if you like open-minded fringe exploration. No, if you want strict science. Brackets, he's too speculative and conspiratorial. Start with his HPANWO radio episodes. Oh, Grok could have been a lot worse. I'm still waiting for Over the Moon to tell me the sort of demonic and kind of like a pejorative version of my description. Right, Red Ibex says here on 117. Wal Thornhill, who I met in 2010. Wal Thornhill, full name Wallace William Thornhill, May the 2nd, 1942 to February the 7th, 2023, was an Australian physicist, electronics engineer, and independent researcher, best known for co-developing the electric universe theory, a fringe cosmological model that emphasizes the role of electricity and plasma in shaping the universe, challenging mainstream gravity-based astrophysics like the Big Bang. Right. Okay. Oh, thanks very much. I knew about him. I even read a bit of his book. It was actually Sue, my partner at the time, who was more into him. She got one of her typical kind of like really obsessive kind of interests in him at one point, and just read everything, all kinds of stuff to do with him. 117, Red Ibex. All right, I better just. There's a timestamp here, so I better click it because I don't know the cutoff point. Then, you know, where's the sunset clause on these sorts of things? And this is just an excuse for saying, well, this person has not apologized. This person's not offering me any restitution. This person is not willing to sit down and discuss our differences, which I think involved him mistreating me very badly. And if he's not willing to do that, I don't care if it's 100 years. Yeah, I don't care if we're both old codgers in some kind of cryogenic chamber in Ray Kurzweil's laboratory, all right? Well, God forbid I'd ever end up in that laboratory next to an old bully. Yeah, this is when I was Red Ibex was asking if I could ever forgive these tossers who keep trying to friend me on Facebook and pop up in my bloody in my friends my friend request list, and they say, "Hey Ben, remember me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, just about. I haven't seen you for 40 years." And he says, "Yeah, we sat next to each other in class. We were great mates." And I thought, "No, we weren't. We weren't great mates. You were a tosser. You were a dickhead." And I say, "Reject." And some of them, like they sometimes send me like another friend request. And of course, when you send 3, they don't let you send me anymore. And he contacts my brother and he says, "Oh, Ben won't accept my friend request. Boo hoo hoo." And my brother just says, "Look, just sort it out with him. I'm not the go-between." But Red Ibex says Christians may say the Lord commands you to forgive the old school bully. Well, I'm afraid the Lord is asking too much of me. I don't understand this unconditional forgiveness. I mean, I was absolutely astonished when Erica Kirk was at her husband's funeral a couple of weeks ago and said that she forgave the man who shot her husband, Charlie Kirk. I forgive him. I don't believe her. I really don't believe her. That's inhuman. I mean, the guy himself has shown no remorse. And so I think, how could you possibly do that? I'm afraid I don't go along with that commandment, and I not because it's not willful disobedience. I can't. I'm not in control of these emotions. So yeah, that's your answer. Red Ibex says Voices in the Wilderness Read Party introduction. Okay, do you adhere to the Thunderbolts project? What's that? Let's have a look. I don't even know what it is. The Thunderbolts project. The Thunderbolts project. Yeah, the Thunderbolts project. Here we are. What's this? Right. The Thunderbolts project, a voice for the electric universe. Right, what's this about then? Thunderbolts YouTube channel about. Synopsis. In the wake of recent discoveries, a new way of seeing physics is emerging, a new vantage point, blah-de-blah-de-blah, cosmology, magnetic fields. Is this the stuff to do with Walt Thornhill? Right, I don't have time to read that all now, I'm afraid, Red Ibex. So I can't answer you, but if it's to do with the electric universe theory, I don't think so, though, because I remember there's things that contradict, like, for example, Walt Thornhill's book. I mean, 3i Atlas does, because he started saying things like comets are electric, they were just electric and they're not really giving off chemicals or something like that. I think for alternative cosmology, I think Manja Samantha Lawton is actually more convincing. And you can, I'll tell you what, Google her or ask Rock about her. She's actually someone I still speak to, actually. She's quite an interesting lady. I interviewed her a couple of times. And she did this punk science book, and she used to be on David Icke's Sing the People's Voice. But anyway, Paul Classman says underneath, it's 100% it's absolute 100% garbage. Right, that's pretty unequivocal, isn't it, Red Ibex? I politely pointed out why they are wrong, and I was blocked. If they were serious or genuine, they'd have been open to a discussion and a scientific scrutiny. And Red Ibex says, blocked by Ben? Do you mean me, Paul? Well, you're posting here. No, by whomever runs their channel. Hang on a sec. Hang on, Paul. You're posting right here. I haven't blocked you. What are you talking about? I'm going to put this in text. What are you talking about? I haven't blocked you. I'm replying to your comment. I'll be replying to your comment. What I think Paul Classman has happened is he's had a comment disappear, and he's put it down to me like blocking him, which is bollocks, absolute bollocks. I haven't. He's had a comment disappear, and he thinks, "Oh, all right, he's assumed that must be Ben doing it. He's deleting my comments or he's blocking me." Well, I'm not. All right. Reply to comments 117. A Red Ibex says, "Great video, one of your best. Thanks, Red. Much appreciated." I'm getting an AI prompt. No, I don't use AI. Now, One String Puppet then says, "My comment has gone again. Okay, I give up." This is on. Oh, this is on Digital ID live stream, and I said this is my most recent one. Oh dear, says Red Ibex, and I actually put a text comment here, and I said I don't know why that is. I've checked my spam folder, which I have on the lowest filter. It's empty. I'm really sorry. Now, I don't know why this happened. One String Puppet. Always make copy. I'd actually get Notepad and make a copy of your comment when you actually post it, so you can always post it again. I don't know why that is, so I apologize. Well, I don't see apologizing. It's something I haven't done, but I really haven't done this. Red Ibex on Digital ID live stream. Was maths invented or discovered? That's a good question. Was maths invented or discovered? Math is maths is a science. It's a scientific study of numbers. I mean, it was invented in the same way that astronomy or biology and geology was invented. That's an interesting question. Let me just. I'm going to ask that fount of wisdom called Google AI about this. I don't want to get too yet. Was maths in? Oh, it's already prompting me. Invented or discovered? It's already here. Was mathematics invented or discovered? Mathematics is considered both invented and discovered. It's a blend of discovering pre-existing universal truths about the world and inventing concepts, symbols, and techniques to understand them. Right, so in other words, and it mentions the Pythagorean theorem, that's to do with triangles and things like that. So in other words, it's pretty much like most other sciences are like that, really, because sciences are invented usually to learn more about a natural phenomenon, with the exception of things like computing. But even that involves physics, which is or chemistry, which are natural phenomena. But and then, of course, using science, we develop ways of understanding them through our own kind of methodology, and that in a sense becomes an invention. It becomes a creation. Very, very interesting question. Right, Dorset Earth Mysteries 4, 3i Atlas and SETI. All right, One String Puppet. This is a one for you to watch, mate. And Helen Tucker says lots of thumbs up. Thanks, Helen. Much appreciated. Oh, Get a Job, You Lazy Scroungers, Part 2. This is an old video. Manchester is blue. Hey, obviously a City fan. Says Hospital Porter's Pride and Dignity. Oh, thanks. Hospital Porter's Pride and Dignity to you as well. I'm City till I die. I'm City till I die. Yeah. Darren says here on Dorset Earth Mysteries 4, 3i Atlas and SETI. Ben, can you put all your lectures in a playlist? You know what? I really should create playlists. I really shouldn't I? It's a good idea. Yeah, maybe I could do that, Darren. I don't have any playlists on my channel. What you can do though is I do have portals. And you can find here. I hope you can see that. If you look here, this is the CERN portal, and I have others on Area 51, cryptozoology, the Ukraine war, chemtrails, Paul McCartney, 9/11, political correctness, skeptics, the coronavirus, Donald Trump, Brexit, Jeffrey Epstein. That link's actually out of date. I've got to change it because it was deleted from Hanoi Voice. UFO disclosure, Helen Duncan, St. Helena Airport, David Icke, free energy, the moon landings, climate change. That's something I can't say. You're going to have to click on it to find out, but I'm not allowed to say that word. Afterlife, the MH370, Boudica, and interstellar objects. There you are. So I do have portals, even though I haven't got any playlists yet. But you're right, Darren, I should make playlists. Digital ID live stream. All right, there's a timestamp, but I know what it's about. It's about when I say, I'm not a number, I'm a free man, etc., quoting the number 6 character in Prisoner. Is The Prisoner your favorite TV show? Asked Red Ibex. It's one of my favorites. I think it's very, very good indeed. It's excellent. It's like a really kind of surreal kind of fantasy in a way, but it has so many countercultural themes. I love it. I think it's excellent. How am I doing for time? Oh, 35 minutes in. Believe it or not, I'm nearly at the end. I'm down to 2 days ago. Red Ibex says, and here's a timestamp. I'll click the timestamp here.
Protest in London. I'm here because this is just the next massive step in enslavement of us in Britain and around the world. It's part of the agenda, but we know this is just one other step. And after this comes in, it's going to be part of just locking us down forever, basically. So we can't travel where we want.
Good old
We
Mark.
can't go where we can't.
That's Mark of the Crafty Nihilist. Do you feel you let down the? Red Ibex asked me here. Do you feel you let down the Truth Movement and Crafty Nihilist by not attending the event? No, I don't think I did, but I do feel. I feel very disappointed. I feel upset. I wouldn't say upset. I feel disappointed, and I feel frustrated that I couldn't go because I really wanted to go to this one. I think it's very important to attend these kinds of protests whenever you can. The reason I couldn't go was because of this little mutt down here. Where's he? Oh, he's gone. She's gone. Sorry. It's because of her. I agreed to look after her before I knew this event was going to happen. But there'll be others, and I think by doing the digital live stream, the digital ID live stream, I've kind of helped anyway from my own home. Oh, Red Ibex is saying, "Oh, this is the song." Black Goo in Antarctica, Lizard Kings from the Seventh Star, pretty catchy. It's great. It's a great song. Thanks to Rhiannon for that. It's really good. And he says, "Yeah, justice must be done for Richard D. Hall." Great lyrics, Rhiannon. Yeah, I'm really grateful for her for doing this. I don't know if I could actually. I'm not sure I could actually do this myself. James's pipe, and we have here Over the Moon. Right, I know what this is about, but I'll show it to you. The drone hidden in the Booga Sphere video. Right, yeah, I know what this is about. I'll have a look at it. Oh, something went wrong. What? So I could find it. So I know what this is about. I will just find it. It's probably been deleted, but it's I know what it's about. The Booga Sphere drone. Hang on a sec. There we go. All right. Where is it? Here we go. This is
okay. I just found something. I've been working on the Mostly True Alien Stories Booga Sphere special, which is going to come out soon. I've been scrubbing every frame of video they released before the big press conference. Then I compared that to the footage they showcased during the event. In the main flying video, the one they say shows a levitating sphere, I went frame by frame, and then boom. Right there in a single frame, a drone directly above the sphere. I thought, okay, this is a glitch, it's an artifact or whatever. But then I pulled up the original version of that same video, the one that was posted prior to the big press conferences and everything else. And this is what I found. The same exact thing. So here's the thing. We've all been analyzing the footage to see what AI created. But what if AI was used to remove something and it missed a frame? This video might be real, but the levitating might be one big edit job that slipped up in one frame. Is this a Mostly True Alien story or not? Okay, I just found something. Right,
yeah. I should sub to him actually because yeah, I quite like this guy. Have I subbed? I haven't. Yeah, because right. You know, Over the Moon, that is suspicious, isn't it? That's very suspicious. You see an object now. I don't know if it was a drone. It looks like it could be a bird or something. It could be even an insect. But there's clearly something above the sphere, not quite directly above it, but certainly within like 5 degrees of like the vertical plane. And it could be that it is actually being held up by a drone. If so, then obviously that's another reason to think that the Booga Sphere is fake, which it might well be. I mean, hopefully more will come out about this. I mean, I'm dubious about the Booga Sphere, just like I'm about James's pipe. I realise that it could be a hoax, yeah. And of course, this is not definitive. He says that's a drone. Well, it's a kind of like black blob. He enhances it slightly, but it doesn't look an awful lot clearer. It looks just like it's got 2 little blobs on either side of it, which could be like wings of an insect or a bird or something. Maybe shot with a long exposure. I don't know. But it's obviously not. If it's on both videos, then it's obviously not an artifact of the processing. So yeah, that's concerning to me, definitely. Thanks for sharing that. Although I have seen it before. Red Ibex, digital ID live stream. Do aliens believe in God? I don't know. You'd have to ask them. I mean, how am I supposed to know that? But I mean, the thing is, a lot of aliens, the people who have contact experiences, and people who have contact experiences often describe that the aliens are actually quite good at describing spiritual concepts. Sometimes they find it easier than they do technological concepts. This was certainly the case with the alien interview, which I've covered with Jon Stewart and others. It seems that a lot of them do seem to have some kind of spirituality, based on the contact reports. But we don't know. We don't even know if that's true, if they're being honest, because as Carla Turner pointed out, they're actually they actually do lie. The aliens themselves actually do tell porky sometimes for whatever reason. So we don't know. They're manipulative, you see. They are. Definitely. Okay. Right. The Project Blue Book Series 2, Episode 6. Oh, wow. Yeah. I love that series. I mean, I know Dave Altman, who's like a part of the project, and he was telling me about it. I mean, they've got basically everything was ready to go for season 3. They've got all the scripts written, they've got the casting, they've got all the production design done, all the pre-production was done, and they haven't actually filmed it yet. Then it all collapsed, mostly because of the bloody C-word lockdown. But anyway, Lauren says here, the young generation needs to watch this. Yeah, I'd recommend Project Blue Book to anyone. It's, apart from the X-Files, I think it's one of the best, I'll tell you, one of the best UFO TV series there are. BitChute Band. All right, this is an old one. And we got here Benevraire. This is just 12 hours ago. M words. I can't say that word. They're starting fires everywhere to blend with the wildfires. Are they? M words referring to a certain ethnicity and religion. If that's true, then that's awful. I mean, do you have any evidence for this? Let's just Google it. M word. M word starting fires. All right, please. All right, fire as a weapon in terrorist attacks. Right. It's what I've got here is, rather than the M words actually starting the fires, I've got here instead people setting fire to mosques. There's talk about people setting fire to mosques. Indeed, there have been arson attacks on mosques. In the wake of the Manchester synagogue stabbing, where 2 people were killed, there have been several attacks on mosques, which I oppose as well. I oppose those too. But I mean, what you say here doesn't make sense at all. It makes sense. It doesn't make any. You've got nothing. Have you got anything to back it up? Like post a link or something? M word starting fire to blend with wildfires. I can't find any reference to that anywhere. Okay, digital ID live stream. Professor Unwin most. Hi, Professor. How you doing? Deep joy for your very eardroves. Snoozy most and Meditrail. Oh, right. Oh, I see. Oh, right. I get deep joy for your eardroves. Sleepy and meditating, I think that means. And there's a little video here he's got. Good old Professor. Just wait for it's all about. Anyway, the Unwinese is something. You can see what it is there. Skip. The invisible side. What? Oh my God.
Recently, time has been on my mind. I mean, not just about how we use it or how it passes, but about whether it exists at all.
All right. Oh, 1 hour of Brian Cox, mind-blowing facts about the universe. Oh, God, I think I could put up with an hour. I could put up with an hour, but not much longer than that. Oh, how generous of you to think of me in that way, Professor. You know exactly what Meditrails and Snoozy Mosts mean. Okay, James's pipe. It's a pipe load do dillage. All vibrail and pleasure it there up the Bocus. Just like Keely Starmage and those 3 UKL prostitutes use it. Oh, yes, I see, yes. I think what Professor is saying here, that this thing is some kind of sex toy for men, involving it being inserted into your bottom. Just like a certain Keely Starmage, you know who that is, and those 3 UKL prostitutes. We know what we're talking about here. Those young guys who try to burn down his properties, yeah. Signal from space, Nimitz update. Oh my God, I've forgotten all about this. This has kind of gone quiet, hasn't it? In the space, after 3i Atlas came along, this has kind of like been forgotten. It's kind of been upstaged by 3i Atlas. Oh, it's disinformation. It's distraction. I know. Anyway, Professor Unwin most says here, How long spacey tie load will you indulge most? These payloads all steam it and dollop there. Oh, how you indulge most of these payloads of all steam it and dollop there. I think he's referring to, how long are you going to, it's like Steve mumbling, how long are you going to keep going on about this sort of thing, which is a steaming pile. Why not rightly garden bookage? Weavely basque loads. Singly opera. All right. Well, I'm writing a book. I mean, I do simple gardening as part of my work, but I'm not the sort of person who knows enough to write gardens about it. As write books about gardening. Weavely basket. Oh well, basket weavers. There's been a bit of a scandal about this group calling themselves the basket weavers, isn't it? Because they're apparently a bunch of racist women. Singly opera. All right. Opera singing. I don't. I can do basic karaoke enough to win me a bottle of Lambrini, but opera no. Bread of the heavenly abode. Bread of the heavenly abode. Oh right. Oh, I think this is. Oh, I think this is an Unwinese translation of the famous Welsh hymn. Bread of the heavenly abode, bread of the heavenly abode. Shuffle it down the thorcus and fill it all there, fill it all there. Shuffle it down the thorcus, all fill it there. I don't think it doesn't quite scan, does it? And the lyrics don't exactly fit. I think it's a hard. Actually, the original was actually in Welsh and it was translated to English, but translated Unwinese from the original English. Might be a bit tricky, it seems. I think if I went to the Six Nations and I sung it when we were playing England, it probably wouldn't have quite the same effect. UFO Congressional Hearing 2025 live stream. Professor Unwinmost says here, "Whoa! Our Congressi all entertail with the Poly dance cage, beach babeload, deep joy indeed." I think the Poly dancage, beach babeload, who is in the Congressi, is of course Anna Paulina Luna, and I don't know if there's an Unwinese version of her name. Paulini Analode, I think. Paulini Analode, I think you call her. But yeah, she was a beach babe load. Yeah, she was a model before she got into politics. That's right. Who's been sending me text messages? Hang on a sec. Someone's been sending me text messages. I better just check them, not urgent. Okay, right. Okay. Professor Unwinmost says here on hospital porters against racism. All right, this is my notice, my alt tech exclusive notice. So, what's your thoughts and considerary opinage of Tommy Lee Robloader, all dwarfly, and Joe Pesky there? All right. What's my opinion, basically, of Tommy Robinson, all dwarfy, and Joe Pesky? Who's Joe Pesky? Let me just Google him. Is it because he's quite small? I mean, Tommy Robinson, I think he's not very tall. Is that what you mean? And let's just have a look. Joe Pesky is somebody, a name I've heard. American actor. Known for portraying, all right, yeah. Known for portraying, American actor known for portraying tough, volatile characters. He's known for his collaborations with Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro. Goodfellas, Casino, The Irishman, Raging Bull. Right, I see. Oh, he is. Yeah, I think I know who this guy is. Yeah, I'll show you him here. There. I'm just going to quickly reply to this text message. While I'm doing this, try to see if I can multitask. like a good hospital porter should be able to. Okay. I just replied to that. That's just my daughter there. Okay. My opinion of Tommy Robinson, I'm afraid, is not as high as it is for many other people. And as actually said in the old tech video, he seems to have made a bit of an industry for himself by getting himself put in jail every 6 months or so. I think he's a bit of a loudmouth. I mean, I'm not, he's not sort of, people say he's stupid, he's uneducated. I don't know. I think he seems to know a lot of stuff, but he tends to like rant off at people. He yells at his like mobile phone in portrait mode and thinks he's making a good argument. He's made he has done very well financially over what he does now. And whenever he goes to jail, he puts out some kind of like fundraiser for his legal costs and stuff like that. And it's, I mean, and you know what does he say? What's his basic opinion? And I mean, he may well believe this and may not realize that he's wrong. His basic opinion is that there is a kind of new world order, similar to my own. And you know, he thinks, well, the new world order is Islam essentially. So in his worldview, you know, Islam, Muslims are essentially engaged in some kind of conspiracy, gigantic super conspiracy against civilization. And that these kind of strange, I mean, a lot of people have this opinion, they're these strange, weird, kind of like long-bearded, sinister gowned, singular monsters who are like trying to take over the world. And doesn't realize, I mean, maybe he's not clever enough to realize, maybe he's just too stuck in his own community, down his own rabbit hole, that what he identifies, you know, and he's concerned about, you know, the grooming gang scandal, yeah, stabbings, yeah, these things are genuine threats. But he doesn't realize that it's not them doing it. They are being used. It's a tool. It's a form of narco tyranny, essentially. They're essentially being used as basically shock troops for, I think, a much more dangerous and sinister agenda. And he's not even looking at the people doing it, who are really doing it. That is the Illuminati. I also think, like Douglas Murray, I feel that I also made this criticism of Douglas Murray. He's often thought as the ultimate Englishman. His group is called the English Defence League. English, British, you know, I'm English, you know, he's like considered this pinnacle of patriotism. But I mean, like Douglas Murray, who's also British. Oh, hang on. There we are. That's it. Oh, okay. It's better if you can see me like this. Yeah, like Douglas Murray, I think to myself, well, if you're British, why are you so obsessed with the foreign country? All he taught, it's like Murray wrote a book, some pretty good books actually, about like Western countries and their position, like in terms of patriotism and self-awareness and defense. And then suddenly he drops us. He just throws us under the bus, drops us. Oh, I don't need you lot anymore. I've got Israel now. And all Murray talks about now is Israel, Israel, Israel. And Tommy Robinson's getting similar. Tommy Robinson's going down the same route. Oh, he's currently in Israel and going along, you know, almost like he's almost dancing ecstatic pirouettes over how wonderful that country is. It's a foreign country. It's not. I mean, I've got nothing against Israel. I'm not like these people who say, "Oh, Israel." I don't believe Israel is the source of anything bad. In the same way, I don't think it's the source of anything particularly good. But he's got this idea that it's the center of all of civilization, and they're on the forefront of the battle of good against evil. And he's fallen into this nonsense. So that's what I think of Tommy Robinson, or Tommy Lee Robloader. Red Snapper. Sorry, Red. I called him by his old name. Sorry, I dead named you, Red Ibex. Are you a globalist or a roundhead? How do you identify? Oh right, I am. Oops, I've got Joe Pesky on my. I've got Joe Pesky there on my clipboard. How do you identify? I identify as, well, you call it what you want, but I believe. I mean, globalist, roundhead are kind of like jokey names for the flat earthers use for people like me. I don't believe the earth is flat. I believe it is round. It's a ball. It's floating in space. So, I mean, I believe in lots of conspiracies, and I believe the Illuminati have covered up an awful lot, but not this. So I am both a globalist and a roundhead, whatever name you want to give someone who believes the earth is round. Red Ibex. Do you remember the big society concept? Yeah, it was Tony Blair's. It's something to do with Tony Blair. What's let me get a definition of big society. All right, what's it mean? The big society. Oh, it's in Oxford. Oxford's biggest hangout. All right. Oh no, why have I not heard of this? Let me show you. Oxford's biggest hangout. Where is it then? Oh, it's on Cowley Road. Oh, wait, yeah. It's not far from me, actually. About half hour's walk. What do people mean? Oh, wait, there's something here. What do people mean by big? What is meant by big society? It's about a collective action and collective responsibility. We recognize that active local people can be better than state services at finding innovative and more efficient solutions to local problems. Right. Well, that doesn't sound like Tony Blair to me, but there you go. I'll find these. Oh, it's an old one. Oh, these are all on old. Oh, sorry, my friend. I didn't say these are reply to comments. I said 117. I didn't notice. Reply to comments 25. These are a really old one, man. Oh, and here we go. This is going to be good. Steve cuts hard. All right, let's have an old vintage piece of Steve mumbling, shall we? Let's have a look. What's this? Here we go. And that's the conspiracy rubbish being my life. Okay, I admit it. It is something I've dedicated my life to. That doesn't mean it's wrong. He would have no social life whatsoever without it. Well, you know, Steve, of all the things you said, that is one that is true. I cannot relate to people other than within this community. We do have an in-group, and indeed, this is why I love going to conferences so much. And that's from 5 years ago. My goodness me. I hope you enjoy it. You're going through my old back catalogue, mate. I hope you enjoy it. I really, really do, Red Ibex. Okay, that's the end of YouTube now. Well, let's just actually go and check, because I want to just see. Obviously, some comments might have been posted while I've been recording, in which case I'll then go and check what's been posted since then, and I've got some notifications. How many notifications have I got? Have I got any? It says here I've got 12. Let's have a look at them. All right, then. Okay, then. Oh, that's on another comment. Oh, right, I've got something on James's pipe. One String Puppet has replied to me on here. Ah, this is one of the comments I thought had vanished. Oh, right. Well, you can understand my frustration when I typed out this short essay on a crappy mobile device. Not sure why it wasn't showing for me. Cool. All right. Oh, cool. Brilliant. I'm pleased for you, One String Puppet. I really am. And you know, it's like I said, it's always best like just open up a notepad folder, open up a notepad file, just copy and paste it in there, and just click save, just in case it disappears. But yeah, it was a really, really good long comment, and it must have been frustrating for you. And I don't know why that happened. I don't know why well, obviously it's here, it hasn't disappeared, but why can't you see it? I don't know why you can't see it. But anyway, yeah, let's carry on down here. 1 hour ago, Styx Hexenhammer, Terry Joyce, The Cosmic Unknown, The Hill, Michael Tellinger. These are all my various. These are the people I sub to and watch. One String Puppet said here. Okay, hey, bud. Hang on. So this is One String Puppet, I think, again, who's made a comment here, who says, "Hey, bud. You already answered it in the last reply to comments video, but since you're here, the James's UFO latest video was interesting. A flying bat, Mothman chasing his car. Still think he's legit? Lol. All right. Well, you may have seen the comments I left on his channel. In fact, someone's replied to me. Here we go. Maybe it's you. Someone's actually replied to me. Oh, should we watch that video? We might as well just watch it now we're here. But yeah, I actually mentioned this. I mentioned the Mothman prophecies. Where is it? Yes, here we go. James, here we go. Oh, let me just go to the video, shall we?
Guys,
right.
I'm recording this right now.
But James here says something's following me in my car. No joke. Just 4 hours ago he posted this, and I won't watch the entire video because the video's over 8 minutes. So for James, this is a very long video by his usual duration standards. But basically, he's driving along in his car and he hears this weird noise and this thing that he describes looking like a bat. And I say here, James, have you read the Mothman prophecies? What you described reminds me of that. It must have some connection to the object. Obviously, you got home safe because you uploaded this. I'm glad. And then someone said, did you hear this noise? And other people said, oh, so someone else has mentioned this. 316. This is the one I mentioned. Someone called Doreen said, I heard it. And I said, thanks, Doreen. I heard something like an animal screeching, but it might have been the windscreen wiper. And Grayson Buttercheeks, that's a good name, said, yep, Jesus, I heard it. Let's have a listen. Let's just have a listen to that.
This is insane.
Yeah. I mean, it's very hard to tell That could have been the windscreen wiper, because he's got the wipers going because it's obviously raining out there. So I don't know, quite frankly. I don't know, actually. No. Anyway, where am I? Let's go back to this, because I haven't finished all these different drop down. I'll go back to the drop down menu here. One string puppet, yeah. And then the thing about on James's channel here, and one string puppet actually put a comment here which I've replied to. Did I reply? Yeah, I did reply to that. Flying Bat, still think he's legit. And then Steve Cuts Hard, that's Red Ibex, that was 3 hours ago. So just me to check I actually did put a reply on this, because 3i Atlas Mars Day coming up. Some information. Did I put a reply to that? Oh no! Oh, there's my comment. Yeah. First hour. And then the second hour. Yeah. Oh, good. It was here. Great. Okay. So that's it. That's the end. So thank you all of you for your comments. They've been really, really good. Very interesting. I think we've gone slightly over 2 hours, but anyway. Obviously, it goes without saying that if it wasn't for this, it wasn't for your comments, this video wouldn't happen. So thank you, all of you, for each and every one of them. They've been really, really good, as always. Well, this is not the end of the reply to comments 118, though, because I'm now going to go and work on the Alt Tech Annex. This is the part of the video which will only be uploaded to Alt Tech. Now, this particular video you're watching now will be on YouTube and Alt Tech, so you may be watching it on any of those sites. If you're watching this on YouTube, then please go to Alt Tech, because you will not see the annex. I will not upload the Alt Tech Annex to YouTube because it's a little bit too spicy for YouTube, even though YouTube has actually backed down quite a little bit in the last couple of months. And in fact, my next video is going to be about that, because I'm thinking of doing a few re-uploads of some of my banned videos, but I'll discuss that with you in the next video that's coming up. But YouTube has essentially admitted what we conspiracy theorists have been saying for years. So that's going to be the subject of probably my next video. But yeah, go to BitChute, Odyssey, and Rumble, Ben the JR Porter, and watch the Alt Tech Annex. But in the meantime, for those of you who have watched me, wherever you've watched me, thank you very much indeed. My name's Ben Emlyn-Jones. Thank you for watching HPANWO TV. Hospital Porters, Pride and Dignity, Stop the New World Order.
Conspiracies, government cover-ups, Earth mysteries, monster cryptids, psyops, saucers and black triangles, HPANWO.